Hey, Evan, can you hear me all right?
What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. It's been a few weeks.
Yeah, it's been some time. Catch me up. What's new?
Oh man, probably a lot. I just got off the phone with one of my main guys. He helps me a lot with business and coming up with plans.
Hmm.
And he's helping me put some proposals together for some more dealerships that I have lined up for next week. So I'm excited about that. Um, Miami was awesome. Made a lot of connections down there. Did a lot of cool business stuff. Got a lot of content created.
Nice, dude.
Um, I think I have a podcast studio that I'm locking down tomorrow so that I could record some really high quality content of me actually talking on camera, which always seems to do well, but I just don't have enough of it.
Hmm. Yeah, that'll look really good, man. Yeah, I checked out some of your car videos. They're really coming along nicely.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. How's everything on your end, man?
It's going well. We're just full throttle in trying to grow the social media right now, and we found an investor. We're just working out the final details for developing the electric propulsion device. So that should come along
Really?
nicely. Yeah, it was funny. It was like he just reached out of nowhere. It was an old friend back in my San Francisco days, and he liked what we were doing, so he thought, like, we'll help you out.
How did he find out about what you were doing? Like, what did you have it
he
posted
he
somewhere?
watched
Or?
he watched one of our LinkedIn videos and just reached out casually as a friend, and then we got to talking and about, because like he's a rocket engineer, so he goes the
Mhm.
chemical rocket side, and I was talking about like electric propulsion, what we were trying to do. So we thought that was pretty cool. So we're just working out like the last details, but yeah, it looks like we should have the funds to fully develop that out. That'll be really nice.
That's insane. What does he do that he's able to provide those funds other than
So
just being a scientist?
yeah, he created a rocket company where they use it's just a different type of um basically it uses more airflow to have
Hmm.
his whole, we share similar goals, we just go about it differently. Like both of our goals are to get to space for as low cost as possible. So
Hmm.
he was doing it the chemical rocket way, and my way is like, hey, let's just, go from gas cars to electric cars. Let's do that with rockets. And
Mm.
then you just have to recharge it rather than, refueling it, figuring out how all those extra steps.
Right,
And
right,
then it's better for the environment too if you are using like solar farms or however you're
right.
collecting your energy. But yeah, so he had a few early wins, and it just reminded me, like, the first day we ever met, we were at this like expo. It was like a real estate wealth expo, and we had both
Uh-huh.
gone to meet this. I think he was a billionaire at the time, Naveen Jain,
Okay.
because his whole deal was like he was trying to be like Elon Musk. He was
Okay.
like getting into space. So we both went to that expo just to try to meet him, and then I was talking to Naveen. I was like, how do we turn this idea from theoretical into physical? And then he
Hmm.
just overheard me, so we got to talking, and we made like a joking deal back then, because we both were trying to do this. So I was like, whoever succeeds first, let's make a promise the other person will fund that person's project, just like as a fun joke.
Wow.
And it's starting to like come together that way. It's weird how like
Holy
those,
shit.
manifestations kind of create,
Uh-huh.
like setting the seed. So I'm sure
And
like
is
in
it
a, yeah.
and isn't it amazing that like somehow some whether it's God or whatever you want to like think, like put you guys in that same space, in that same room, around the same vicinity of that conversation that you guys were able to overhear each other out of, I'm guessing, hundreds or thousands of people in that room.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
wow.
my joke is like, in a parallel reality, my project succeeded first and I'm funding his project. So yeah,
Right.
it's weird how things go like that. I think it's mainly too because like it the way it like came across where he reached out, I was talking to a coach of mine, and we were talking about like how do I get this thing funded, and just like the next day he just texted me out of the blue. I was like, oh, okay, I guess that's how.
Hmm. Mm.
So it's because like that's what we're talking about a lot on our social media now. It's kind of like the law of assumption. Are you familiar with
Hmm.
this? Where your thoughts,
Um,
beliefs, and actions like
tell
create
me
your
more.
reality. Yeah.
Yeah.
So on a we've tried to like take all this like woo woo spiritual stuff and put a really scientific approach on it. It's like why are we in this exact experience, this reality right now? Like we're perceiving it with our five senses, right? Or sight, or hearing, or smell, or taste, or touch. And then why are we in this specific, if the quantum physics model is correct, there's infinite possibilities, infinite realities. Why are we experiencing this specific one? And I think it's due to three factors. It's your thoughts, it's your beliefs, and your actions. It's kind of like I'll give you the perfect example. When you first started wanting to chat with me, you were trying to figure out going from your 9 to 5 job and then doing this like car dealership model.
Hmm.
And you were kind of unsure of yourself, and you were like, "Oh no, is this going to work?" And I just said,
Wow,
just go
seems like
full
so long
throttle
ago.
into. Yeah, I said just go full throttle into it. Ask a really high rate, higher than you think you should get, and then maybe you'll negotiate. And you did that. You got the first dealership. You felt really comfortable. Then you did
Yeah.
it with more, and you found other clients. So it's that model, right? You first formed a new thought, then you thought that over a long period of time, days or weeks, it formed a belief system, and then you took actions based on those thoughts and belief systems. Of you actually walking into a dealership and talking and negotiating. So that's kind of what we're trying to discover now on the social media front of like, how do we make that instantaneous, right? We can like manifest, they're calling manifestation now, that kind of lingo. So like we can
Hmm.
manifest
Right.
things in
Exactly.
weeks and months. How do we make it same day? Like how do we get someone instant results? Because that's kind of the next course I want to create, past the lucid dreaming stuff. Because like how do we actualize, their dream life in this space reality, we call it, or the simulation or matrix, however you like to define it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun stuff to kind of figure out.
Now, let me ask you something because, and again, you kind of already know how my brain works. Is I hear stuff, I'm trying to figure out how can I make it content form for you. Is I because I just picked your YouTube channel. Have you guys done podcasts?
No, not really. Like I mean like it's a possibility. It's kind of long form. I like those like short
Hmm.
snippets. But yeah,
Hmm.
like because like what I've noticed is we brought our recording days down to 2 days a week, and then like one
Hmm.
day a week is strategy. Because like and everything I'm pretty much saying now is all the same stuff. I'm just trying
Hmm.
to reword it in new ways. So now what we're trying to do is, okay, what's working for everybody else, and how can we emulate that?
Hmm.
Right? Because like if you're familiar with the content creator Eric, he had this
Hmm.
challenge where
Yeah.
he went from 0 to 1 million subscribers in a year. And what he did to succeed was he started off social hacking. So he would figure out whatever was trending that
Hmm.
week, whether it was a person or event, and then he would make a video each week about that. And just because it was trending at the time, it brought so many new viewers and subscribers to his channel.
Hmm.
So I was thinking like, how do we replicate that for this specific format where we're dealing with like manifestation or Neville Goddard type content? So we're still working out the kinks of that, but I think we'll make good progress because we're starting to get more views again, so that's nice.
So here's why I think the podcast setup would work really well for you.
Hmm.
And because go through the page, right? And it all there's no uniform look, right? Like everything, the information is great, but the packaging in my and this is just me being honest, I don't think the packaging is attractive enough that everyone wants to watch it because your target audience, like we've established before, is anyone who sleeps, right?
Exactly.
Everyone sleeps. So you're the one rare case where everyone could be your target audience. I think if you do one podcast a week, right?
Hmm.
One or two podcasts. Let's start one. Like you, and it doesn't take a lot to set up a podcast studio. You can literally take $100 and set up a podcast studio, and you guys just film. Like you have one of your assistants just ask you questions, and you just pour all the knowledge out of your head, and you have your editor take that content and just edit small snippets. This is
Mhm.
going to cover how many posts you're currently doing, because one podcast, listen, you can make like 20 videos just out of an hour podcast if you do it correctly. Then you could take the beginnings and the ends and swap them and now have 40 videos. This is something I'm teaching one of my clients right now. And the difference between a podcast setting and the setting that you're doing right now, what you're doing right now, it looks a lot like I went out and I wanted to make a video, which there's nothing wrong with it. However, credibility wise, someone's asking you a question because you're the expert on a podcast, even if it's just your assistant, it gives you more credibility. And two, the tonality that you're going to have, because you're not trying to sell something to the camera and you're not looking directly at the camera, you're just the expert on camera. So people are actually going to form more of a connection with you and trust you a little more because you're in a podcast setting. And people love watching podcasts right now. Like podcasts are like the number one stream type of video on YouTube currently.
Interesting. Yeah, like our another filming day is tomorrow, so I'll make one of the long forms. We do it in a podcast format. It's a good
Yeah.
idea.
And
Yeah,
the examples that I emailed you maybe a month ago with like Alex Hermosi, Grant Cardone, all
yeah,
those,
we started
I
replicating those.
really,
If you,
really think
yeah,
replicate
if you
exactly
check out our
those.
newer videos, we replicate like the blue background and stuff like that. And I think he's backlogged a few days, but yeah, we've been doing that for the past week or so.
Hmm.
And I don't know, I haven't really like mostly we see with shorts of like what's working and what's not working. And then with long form video, it's really just emulation. Like, what are the top people doing in our space with their thumbnails and titles, and how do we replicate that with our own spin? So that's what
You're
we've been
talking
doing.
about this video,
Um,
right? I just dropped in the chat
let me see.
because I like the format of this video. I do think you need a key light like what I have. So check this out if you can see my screen. This is currently what you have right now, and maybe you have a little bit of light. All you need is one big, like one or two soft boxes. And now look at how you're separating yourself from the background.
You're right. Yeah, well, we have them. We'll just implement it. I thought it just looked cool with like so much blue, like it was like overshadowed by blue. But yeah, maybe we got to be more clear in it.
Well, because think about it, right? The focus of the video is you, not the background. Background just adds elements to your video to set a tonality.
Right.
Mhm. But yeah, I love the stuff you guys are putting out, and I think a podcast format for you guys, like if you put $100 into a podcast studio, it'll do two things for you. One is going to create YouTube content for you, which you're already doing really well on YouTube. I'm seeing it right now. You have quite a following. So it's just going to be easy, really non-edited content that you have to make. All your editor has to do is just cut into you when you're talking, and that's easy. That's
Yeah,
simple editing
that was
tactics.
a suggestion I got from Elmer. What he did was he went from 0 to 100K subscribers in a year, and
Uh-huh.
all of his videos, they're like not edited at all. All he does is he has a little cutout of his face, and then
Uh-huh.
he reads like a Bible
Yeah.
verse or a Neville Goddard
Yeah.
quote. And that's all he does. And that's the entire video. It's like each one's like 10-20 minutes long. And like people really resonate with that because like, you know, they come there for a specific reason, right? They're trying to learn
Hmm.
Neville Goddard, law of
Hmm.
assumption, or things like that. So like there definitely is a big market for it. We just gotta, you know, implement those. I just me personally, like whenever I watch content, I much prefer like really overly edited, like engaging content of like
Hmm.
just a bunch of stuff happening. Cause like when I'm creating content, I'm like, I want this to like resemble like a like Casey Neistat vlog from 2015 or a Logan
Hmm.
Paul vlog from 2017, where it's like it's just fun, it's positive, nothing's really happening, but you're just enjoying your time along the ride, right? Like, yeah, he
Hmm.
might go to the store to get food, or you know, it's like it's meaningless, but it's like I just
Uh-huh.
wanted to add that like little zest of like a little bit of information while you're just watching, you know, meaningless content.
Right, which
And
there's nothing wrong with that, but
yeah,
if you look at what's trending right now, and the best way that I do it is I go on TikTok, I search a topic. So let's say I type in lucid dreaming, and then you could sort at the top, sort by mm, highest views, and
Yeah, that's
then
what we
date
did for,
range.
if you check out our TikTok, what we went a completely different direction than all the other platforms.
Let me take a
A
look at
bit,
TikTok.
and basically what we did was we take a pretty background and then we say some nice words like you'll live the best life today, and then it tells you to like comment, claim or something. And like we just bounced up to like 5,000 followers in a month just doing that, because it's simple, but it's kind of meaningless. It makes them feel good briefly, and that's about it, right? Like it's not
Oh,
using
so
my face at
they're
all. It's
quote
just
videos.
background. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
these are
and
awesome. Hmm.
we got a few strikes because like some of the videos we said you'll make money if you believe in yourself or something like that. So they viewed that as a scam. I was like, okay. So I told him to dial that
TikTok.
back. To dial that back. I was like, okay, because like as far as a for a capitalistic standpoint, right, like
Hmm.
converting the audience, like there's no face to it, so there's nothing where they can relate to, unless we're like selling some type of like manifestation product where but like I always viewed it as a long-term gain of to build up a strong loyal audience for the electric propulsion, right? How do we get millions of eyeballs watching us build out this process, you know, showing all the successes and failures of figuring out how to make this device work, and then going into the mainstream of like, you know, next level
Hmm.
Elon Musk type things. So because that's the long-term vision, right? And so right now it's just how do we, you know, other than funding from an investor, how do we generate capital from this right now through social media? How do
Hmm.
we drastically increase our view count? Like
Document.
we're getting like thousands of views on shorts for YouTube.
Hmm.
But other than that, like, you know, pretty much everything, every other platform stagnant other than TikTok, when we were doing those like, you know,
Hmm.
relaxing quote videos. So that's what we're trying to figure out right now. Cause like, you know, I've been doing this for 3 months with him now. And I thought we'd be, you know, at least monetized by now with YouTube
Hmm.
and TikTok. So it's definitely slower than I thought. So
Hmm.
there's clearly a strategy we need to implement. Obviously, we're gonna try this podcast now.
Yeah, I think I
Um,
definitely, and the only reason I'm really pushing for this is
yeah.
because I've started realizing this more and more because I consume a lot of content, not because I want to be a consumer, but because I want to study exactly what they're doing, how they're doing it. Because listen, to have even let's take Andrew Tate for example, which he's a very debatable topic, but none of his videos that is all over the internet, and he became the biggest freaking social media person within like a very short time. And
Mhm.
here's why: because he had so many interview style videos, so many podcasts that he was on, so many interviews, that he basically what he did, he went to all these editors, hired all these editors, and said, here's all the podcasts that I've done over 10 years of being a fucking genius. Go edit them, and we're going to blow up social media. And
You
that's
know, he
exactly what he
actually
did.
he
He does
went
not have
one
a
step,
single
yeah.
video of him saying, hi guys, blah, blah, blah. Not a single one.
He actually went what I actually looked into his case study. He went one step further than that. So basically he had this pyramid scheme he created called Hustlers University. And
Mhm.
basically what it was a monthly membership, like $50 a month, something like that, or a little bit less. And in the course, he had this thing, how to make money. So what they would do is they would have an affiliate link, and every person they signed up, they would get 10% in perpetuity. So
Mm.
they would make $10 a month per person. So basically, what he said was, yeah, I have all these podcasts and things. So I'm not even doing it. I'm not paying you to do it. You will get paid from signing up people. So we got thousands of like young kids, you know, young adults to start reposting his videos on TikTok and other platforms. So that's why when he got banned from all the major platforms from his controversial statements, that all his videos kept appearing because he wasn't the one uploading them. He had this
Right. Yeah.
huge pyramid scheme established to like affiliate offer his link, which is kind of genius in a way. That's kind of like,
Hmm.
if you remember Ty Lopez back in the day, that was like he had a similar strategy where he just
Yeah.
like took over the
Uh-huh.
internet for like a small period of time. I'm not sure long term if it's sustainable, but like if you can get the ethos, I think it's like theory where if you can get 1% of the population aware of you, they think about this for creating pop stars. If you get 1% of the 1% of the population aware of you, it has this like cascading effect where through laws of transmutation, or where people talk about things, it ends up echoing out into the entire surrounding society. That's why
Hmm.
like pretty much everybody from our generation knows who Justin Bieber is. If you market it at such an extreme level for a short period of time and get everybody talking about it, and hopefully have something controversial that
Hmm.
gets lodged in their subconscious, and then they have to talk about it. That's why like Kanye West keeps popping up saying really negative, controversial things, because he's
Uh-huh.
made an entire career out of that. Every time something pops up, it's because like Obama said he was a jackass because he stole a mic from Taylor Swift. It's like
Hmm.
little things like that. Like most people didn't even know his music; they just heard him from those
Hmm.
controversial statements. So controversy is great. I don't think I want to go down that road personally. Like I like the
But
positivity
you
niche,
you don't need
but
to.
like
You don't
you
need
you
to.
can you can leverage those tactics in a more positive manner. Is what I'm trying to
Well,
say.
here's how you can leverage it. Here's the guy who's coming on screen saying I could control my dream and do anything I want just from going to sleep at night.
Yeah, exactly. Like
You
and
know how like take a step back for a second. You know how
yeah.
crazy of an idea that actually sounds like. When you first told me, I'm like, all right, like I don't know how legit this is, but sure, let's hear it out. And I talked to more people, and the people who knew about it was like, oh hell yeah! I was actually at a bonfire last night, and we were talking about lucid dreaming. So yeah, but the people who don't get it, they're gonna be like, no, like what are you talking about? Like you're crazy. And that gets shared and shared and shared and shared and shared. And that's why you need to take the position instead of like being on camera of like, hey, listen, you just gotta like take the step back of like someone's asking you a question and just kind of like lean back in the chair and just be like the expert on camera of saying, yeah, you can control your dreams. You could do anything you want. Just lucid dream.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
making more sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of
So
which, did you end up following through with that? Did you ever have a lucid dream? I know you kind of took a back seat when you focused on your business.
I don't know yet
You don't know? Yeah,
because
it's a
I'm still
commitment.
having
That's it's
trouble.
like exercising, right? It's like a daily commitment. But
Right. Like,
if you get there, like it's really nice. Because it basically it's like 10 to 30 minutes a day of you just prepping your brain right before you go to bed. And then
mhm.
you've remembered some of your dreams. I remember from previous conversations
Yeah.
where
And I've been writing
you
them
got in the
down
process.
too.
Yeah.
And I'm still having trouble differentiating. Okay. Did I control this? Was this just a random dream? So, like,
Yeah.
I'm still not like clear. And to be
Here's
honest with you, like,
something.
I didn't
Yeah.
get that far through the course because I'm not
Yeah,
really a
that's
course
what I was
person.
thinking. Cause like, here's what I was thinking. Like, my best students have always been the ones where, back when I charged several grand for it, and I think the reason is they have so much of an investment in it. They really commit to following through. It's like
Hmm.
cause like basically I gave this to you for free and I was helping you out, with your business, just like as a friend. And cause like, and I noticed like whenever you give out a really low price point, we have it like $1.99 right now. It's like practically nothing. It doesn't have a big enough impact where it's like, okay, I have to commit to this unless there's a
Yeah.
big pain
Hmm.
point, right? Like if there's a big pain point where they need to change right now,
Hmm.
yes, they'll
Hmm.
follow through the course and get great results. But like the
Yeah.
reason I had 100% success rate for so long when I was selling it at several grand a piece is because they view this, like that this is the pretty big investment for them, whether they're retired or they're trying to improve
Hmm.
their business. This is a big investment. So they're going to commit to, 10 to 30 minutes a day. That's nothing for this investment. And that's why they all got results, right? Because they viewed it, it
Yeah.
wasn't as this like blase, oh, this is free information, I'll take it if I feel like it. It was,
Hmm.
I have to do this because my pain point is so big, I need to change. And you'll
Right.
probably see this more and
Right.
more with, the people you sign up. It's like they
Hmm.
have a big enough pain point where they have to work with you because if they don't, it's life or death.
Their
We
business
need more
fails.
cars
Yeah.
sold. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I think I'll leave it at $1.99 for now, just because like my attention is focused on this, on the social media. But like for long lasting effects, I think you have to have a significant investment to really commit to
Hmm.
something. It's like you could go to the gym, pay $20 a month, and maybe you'll show up once a month. Or you could pay a personal trainer $200 an hour and you're going to show
You
up
have to
every
show up.
time
Yeah, I
because
had a
that's a
personal
big
trainer,
investment.
and the biggest benefit, other than showing me the right ways to have proper form, is it got my ass to the gym. They were
Yeah,
holding me accountable to be there, otherwise I was paying for a session that I didn't show up to.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which I
So
kind of love that model, and that's why, like, I so I'll forward this to you, but one of my buddies sent me over. It's like 160 questionnaire, but it's really analyzing all your competitors. And I went through and analyzed all my competitors and saw what their price points were. None of them are actually doing one on one.
yeah,
And I think one on one really helps people because it holds them accountable to be there at a certain time every week and get the results that they're looking for. And
exactly.
how much more likely are they willing to refer all their friends if they see all this success, rather than I just paid $70. It showed up on my credit card statement. I'm used to blowing money all the time.
You got it.
Yeah. So that's kind of like what I'm realizing now. Is yeah, I could change my business model and like have like pre-recorded things and a whole website, but like, yeah, I'll make sales, but it'll be passive income. But will it really get me the results of having like long term more people coming in?
Well, you'll reach this point where you're going to max out your time, right? There's only
Mhm,
so many dealerships you can work with one on one, right? Or so many people you can help. And you'll reach
mhm,
that breaking point, and at that point you'll be like, okay, I either need to start adapting to a hybrid model with like some type of courses so I can have more time again to help more people, or I'm going to have to bring on some employees, or I'm going to have to train them to help them like I help people. So that's its own, complication. You won't be there probably till you get to 50 to 100K a month, just from your current model. Because like we remember, we set your price point really high in the beginning. I was like, go for 11, and you're like, oh, 11's
mhm,
a little high, maybe we'll do 9,800, maybe we'll do 78. But I'm like, yeah, the higher you go in the beginning, right, you can only go higher from there because you
mhm,
set that standardized model, right? Because
mhm,
then your clientele already have to be competing at a high level. Because if you go to a homeless person, say you charge 10 grand, they're like, no, that's not even a
mhm.
factor. But
Right.
if you go to a business owner who's already doing well but who wants to do better, and you say 10 grand, they're like, done, let's do this. If this makes me 30 grand, I'll pay 29 grand, I don't care.
Mhm,
So that, I think that's you know
mhm,
your differentiating factor. And if you continue to give that one-on-one personalized approach, that's cherry on the top. But again, they just, like, I had students, at the height of it, I had a couple salespeople. We were spending a ton of marketing, breaking even, but like I would have students who never spoke to me once. They spoke to a salesperson, got really motivated, figured out their pain point. We showed we can solve it, spent a couple grand, and they got results without talking to me once, because they committed, they spent that much, so they knew they were going to have to follow through the course. And the course is laid
mhm,
out just like how I did the one-on-ones. It's exactly the same. It covers pretty much every scenario. And it, as long, because they had that big enough pain point and they committed to it through a price vector that's over a grand, I would say is probably the minimum now. um uh they committed to that and they got immediate results without ever speaking to me. So that's the beauty of a course, like your long-term vision, if that's the direction you want to go. And because that's completely hands off, so at that point all you had to do is dial in marketing. And if I really
mhm,
like dedicated more time, that's probably what we would have done, is just like figure a way to make this profitable. Which is kind of why we started doing organic growth. It's like, let's figure out
mhm.
how to do organic, because like that will really be interesting. But that's
Right.
really, you have to dedicate a lot more time than just like throwing a couple grand at Facebook ads. um it's just something to think about, because like now you're in a place where you have steady income, right?
Mhm.
What are you at now, 15K a month total? 20?
Uh, I'm waiting to sign on 2 people right now. They're lingering. When
Hmm.
I sign them on, I'll be at 18?
Okay, and the majority
18
of
or
that,
18.5.
18.5. Okay. And the majority of that, I'm assuming, is profit, right? Because
Yeah,
you have pretty low expenses.
low
So
expenses. Yeah.
I would just take $100 a day and throw it into Instagram ads, and just have no expectations. And just you post your own videos. You don't have to, you can make custom ads of like, hey, check this out, or you can just post your own videos, and anyone who just streams in from that and sees it, and you be super hyper targeted because you're only spending $100 a day. So you're going to target super high income car dealerships in
Mhm.
the US. And that's the only people you're targeting. And you spend $100 a day on that. And then once you do that for a few weeks, you do a retargeting, throw an extra 20, $30 a day. And you just retarget everybody who engages with the ad. And what's going to happen is you're going to be the celebrity for all of these car dealerships. And when you come and knock in, they've already watched your videos probably like 100 times at that point, just from a steady stream of ads. That's,
Mhm.
pretty much nothing to you off the top end of your revenue stream, but that will bring in so many more leads, and you won't have as many objections when you go in for a cold approach, because they will already have a stream of your content and already see your face. Make sure to use the ones that have your face if you're still doing the sales calls yourself. I think that will be your next phase. And then if you do that, what's going to happen is you're going to have no more time left. You're going to have so many clients, you're going to be at 50 to 100K a month. And that's when you're going to want to start to incorporate into a course model.
Mm. Now, should it be videos? So tomorrow I'm going to a podcast studio. I'm planning on like filming just talking about social media and then
Yeah,
having.
do the same advice you were going to give from me,
Mhm,
where you look off in a
mhm,
direction and you just answer all. What are the okay? You've done this several times now. What are the major
uh-huh,
questions that every car dealership has? And you go
mhm,
through every single one of those. You make 2 or 3 ads and just and target people interested in car dealerships. Who are interested in car dealerships? Owners of car dealerships, right? It's as simple as that. Or you can target if you're staying in your local area, that's super high targeted, even more than that. You probably wouldn't even need $100 a day.
mhm,
But that's gonna, because now you're in a freedom, you have cash reserves, you can cover several months of expenses, you're pretty much all profit. This is the time where you start reinvesting in the business. Um,
mm,
so don't go buy a Ferrari, spend that money, spend that mortgage payment on the Ferrari and reinvest in the business, and then you can buy 10 Ferraris.
mm. Okay.
Straight out cash.
Yeah,
um,
that's a bigger flex.
Yeah, so I think that's your next phase, because like what's 3 grand a month to you if you're making 20 grand a month, right?
Yeah.
Especially if it's bringing in new leads for your business. And even
Okay.
if it doesn't, all it grows your following list, which helps, once you pass what 10 20K followers on Instagram, then you can use it for brand sponsorships too. So that's another revenue stream. It's just like now you're at the point where you have steady income streams. How do I keep increasing this without taking more of my time, right? So
Mm,
what things can I do? It's not passive income doesn't really exist, because at some level you have to study the information before you buy it. Like even stocks or real estate, you still have to study it. So, but like, what can set up that long term wealth trajectory that you're aiming for? Like, what's your ultimate goal?
mile for like in general for the
Yeah.
business. Um, to have employees under me. That ways it could become more passive and less I'm working for the business. The business is working for me.
Yeah, you can do that right now. You have enough funds to you go on Upwork, start covering all the
Upwork. I
nitty-gritty
forgot about that
stuff.
website.
Upwork.com, you can get VAs who speak fluent English, who do all of the work for you, and they live in like the Philippines, so they're 500 a month is great for them. Like they're
Uh-huh.
super
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
they work their asses off 40 hours a week for 500 a month. So you start out there, grow your business more. Then if you really want in-house employees, you can do that too. Get people in
Mhm,
America who you can build out an office if you want. But like that just adds cost, right? Like all you need is your computer and your face right now. That's
mhm,
that's that's the main cost for you. So you want to start thinking about, okay, what about days when I'm sick? What about days when I don't feel like showing up to a car dealership to get new clients? Then you got to find a salesperson. You can pay them on
mhm,
commission. You might give them like a base or like some training, paid training, but like you pay them mostly in commission, 10-20% of whatever you get, just like Andrew Tate did. You give them 10-20% in perpetuity of any client they bring on. That way they'll bring on the client and they'll keep checking in with the client to make sure they're happy and enjoying it. Right.
mhm,
So
mhm,
it's
mhm.
pick one of those 3 avenues I said to just get started and then just roll with it. you could do all three. It might complicate things, but just pick one. Either do Facebook, either do Instagram ads, $100 a day, get you started. Either find a commission-based salesperson or find a VA on Upwork. Just choose one and make that your mission this week to free up some time, and then you can do others as you move forward.
Do you think I could find an editor on there?
Yeah, dude. I found an editor in America that I work with. So
Through Upwork?
Oh no, I posted a Craigslist ad. Um, I literally said,
old school. I like it.
yeah, I was like, okay, I want someone to film me, so I need someone in person. So I posted a Craigslist ad. We met up. He was working at Enterprise. He still is part-time now. And that's how we met. And if you want something in person, just post a Craigslist ad. It's that simple. It's like $25. It's not a big deal. And then if you want someone who you can have full time where you don't need to pay a ton, yeah, use Upwork.com. You can find VAs, virtual assistants, or you can find video editors if you want to film yourself. You can find all that. They'll probably charge you $10-20 per video. It's a very small amount. You just interview them. It's all free on Upwork until you actually close the client, and then they take a percentage off the top. So you can interview 100 people if you want. That's how I found one of my mechanical engineers on Upwork too. So yeah, very useful site.
Very cool. I forgot all about the site.
Yeah,
So
write that down.
I'm gonna go
Definitely check it
recheck
out.
that out.
You have 3 options to do this week. Pick one of them, and you'll start progressing further.
Fuck yeah. I want to put you in the same room as my buddy Max, or Nick. He goes by Coach Max Maxim. He's a dating coach, but he helped me along with your ideas, but he really helped me like shift my mindset as far as like how to really like sell, because he's like a great salesman and he's like giving me all this stuff. I have a feeling like I put you guys in the same room, you guys are just going to excel and excel and excel because
Yeah,
you
let's
guys
set up
bounce
a
this stuff.
let's set up a
You want
group
to set up
Zoom
like a
call
three-way?
next week. Yeah.
Let's do it.
We'll do a group one next week. Put that together. I'll hop on. You have my link. Feel free to just book a call. We can do a
Which I love
similar
that link,
time.
by the way. Is that all automated?
Yeah, it's through like Calendly or whatever. You just hook up a Zoom integration and it does it all auto-generated.
How much do you pay for that, if you don't mind me asking?
It's free.
Get the fuck out of here. It's awesome.
Yeah. The internet, there's infinite information for free. And we charge for our services at a premium because no reason. Capitalism.
Which is one of the things that we talked about today on our call. I'm like, dude, all this information that we teach our clients is free on the internet.
Yeah.
They could literally go through our social media and find everything they need.
They're just paying for hand holding.
They're paying for convenience.
Yeah,
hand holding and convenience. That's awesome, man.
Excellent.
Cool. I'll set that up. The 3 of us. I think it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
But in the meantime, I'm gonna check this out, and either next week's call or the week after, I want to talk to you about Undercover Billionaire, because I binge watched season 1 and I'm on season 2 right now, and I'm loving the show.
Oh yeah, you'll love all the Grant Cardone ones. He's on next level, and that will help you out with your sales stuff too.
Dude, Grant is awesome. He's a little bit like douchey, but yeah. I love it. Yeah.
He was actually at that Wealth Expo where I met my friend originally. That was really funny.
Oh, really?
This is another looped in. It was like him and Gary Vee were at a real estate wealth expo for some reason.
Okay.
It was like 3-4 years ago.
That's 2 huge names to like be in the vicinity of, so that's cool.
Yeah. All right, cool, buddy. I'll talk to you next week, maybe.
All right, sounds good. Can you send me this this Zoom call?
Yeah, I'll send you the YouTube link.
Awesome. Appreciate it, man.
I'll talk to you later.
Cool. I'll see you next week, man. Peace.